Hey, welcome to Quick Take, where we talk about the things that are on the minds of executives everywhere. Hello, James Capps.
Hello, how are you doing today, Susie?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to be here.
I know, fun topic today. Something that we've been talking about a lot lately.
Yeah, we actually have. And it's all about the power of the pre-meeting.
Yes. I think this came up during our live event a couple days back when we were doing our Flashback Friday. This is a under theme, if you will, under current of that topic, which is really how do you prepare for a big decision?
Yes.
And how pre-meetings play a key role in that.
Key role at every level. But it also came up in one of my executive coaching sessions. And I thought that we could start by talking about that specific situation. So let me tell you about this woman I work with. She runs a very large part of a big company. Mm-hmm. And we're talking billions of revenue. And she happens to live in New Jersey. Of all places. It's funny. She's like very New Jersey, the way she talks, kind of no BS. And she's a little confused about the shore versus the beach, which is really annoying because I call it the beach.
That's a constant problem. Constant problem. It's clearly the beach, but that's not important right now.
But yeah, she calls it the shore. Anyhow, back to business.
Yes.
So she is branching out and they're bringing in a whole new area of the business. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that she needed to do was the way they sell across the enterprise was going to affect a lot of different departments. So she needed to go to all the heads of these groups and get their buy-in to the way she'd like to see the shift, because it's a big change for the company, and the company's been doing it the way they've been doing it for a long time. So she knew it was important that she got buy-in from all of those stakeholders before the meeting, so that people would be on her side. So she did that. She met with all the stakeholders. And then they all said yes. She said, how does this plan look? They said yes. She gets to the meeting and nobody was on her side. Everybody threw up over her whole plan. So it was really interesting. And so I was a little surprised until we dug in a little bit more. And what we realized together was that instead of going to the stakeholders and asking them the right questions and to get their buy-in, she showed them a baked plan. They showed them the plan. She took into consideration their perspectives, but she didn't ask the question, what would you change? What would you do? She just didn't ask the right question. So when she got to the meeting, she basically asked another question, a different question.
Yeah, that's a really great story. And I think that's right, that, one of the things that I love to do is I love to go in to a meeting with a plan or with the answer, but not tell anybody that I have the answer. And it's a little bit of a game for me to am I right? Can I get people there, and how far off am I? And more importantly, what did I not consider? Mm-hmm. And I really love the idea that people tear apart my idea. And I tell people up front, look, I have a plan here. Let's chew it up. Tell me, let's destroy that. Why am I wrong? Yeah. And I think what you're highlighting there is really the critical nature of that pre-meeting. Mm-hmm. I think what I'm hearing you say here is that she had a series of one-on-one lectures in which she told them the plan. Yeah. And they received that plan and said, boy, that is a pretty picture. I do like pictures of clowns. And then that was the response. Yeah. That was the feedback she got rather than engaging them. And I think that's key, that you have to really understand what you're trying to accomplish by the pre-meeting and be really involved in curating that in the right way. I think that's a pretty interesting story there.
Yeah. And I think it's good. And we have a mutual friend, you and I, Maria, and she had said to us, it's like bringing the sketch versus the final portrait.
Yep.
And allowing people to respond to that instead of having the laminated, you think, oh, I'm all prepared. Look at what I've done.
Tightly articulated, complete, and thorough. Right. That's a lecture. That's not a conversation.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. So what are some of the best practices that you think about in doing that?
Right. I think that, one of the things I think about in this pre-meeting is that it's really the journey, not the destination, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to realize that participation in the conversation is much more important than anything else. And so if you're going to sit down and talk to your folks, you want them to believe that they are a part of the dialogue. And I say believe as if it's like some sort of ruse, but the truth is just engaging them and allowing them to participate in the decision making works. It's super important for leaders at every juncture, but this is one of those key elements. And again, if you go in with a laminated plan and their feedback is clearly not going to change it because it's already laminated, then they're not going to be emotionally engaged. So again, going in with an idea, going in with a couple squares on a piece of paper and a line between it, allowing them to participate, I think is key.
Yeah. This is a little bit off topic, but it's funny. When you and I used to work at that big company, we had a retail contract, and the T's and C's, we literally laminated because we wanted to give the impression that they're not negotiable.
Oh, fascinating.
And we really did that. We laminated the T's and C's.
And did that work?
From time to time, it would, but
probably just the perception was different.
Yes,
it changed the perception. Of certainly, these are not in pencil; these are in stone. So if you walk in with something that's laminated, that's gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
and I think the second thing you want to think about is understanding the value of social proof and appreciating how they want that your team, your stakeholders, they want to be part of the team. And I think it's important that you go in and say, "Hey, I am working with all of you. I'm sitting down with each of you individually, and I've gotten some great feedback. And I talked to Jerry and Rachel, and both of them really changed my thought here. Please give me feedback." And I don't think it's appropriate for you to go in and say, "Hey, here's the plan. Jerry and Rachel are on board." I think what you really want to do is you want to encourage them through that social proof by saying, "Hey, these folks were instrumental in the evolution of this. You too should be instrumental in the evolution of that." And so you're not only, like I said, first getting them involved, but two, using the power of your organization to ensure that they do want to participate.
Right. You want their fingerprints on it too.
Yep.
And I love that. I think that's a great way of doing it because it feels really safe. And you're signaling that you're open to
That's right.
feedback.
That's so important because if you depending on your management style, sometimes it's so critical that these folks, your team, they want to know that this is still open for discussion, right? Look, we all know that we've had leaders that are asking for opinion, but they're not going to hear it. They just want to know that they asked, right? And so later on, they can say, "I asked you," and I said, "Yes, you did ask me, and you ignored me." But that doesn't mean I bought in. And so the power of the pre-meeting is making sure that you do take those things into consideration, that you do go in with an open mind. These tips are important and they work. But if you use them once and don't actually use them or pretend you use them, then they're actually making the pre-meeting worse. Then people will know that this pre-meeting is just your way of making you as a leader feel good, not really getting to the end state, which is a collaborative outcome.
Oh, and what a waste of time.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it the right way. It's really annoying.
Yeah. I think it's really ridiculous when folks aren't actually taking advantage of it. And I think the other thing on that note around how whether you're using this right, is the timing of these meetings. There's nothing that I hate more than having a pre-meeting 5 minutes before the meeting. That's not a pre-meeting.
No.
That means I forgot to talk to you about it.
Yes.
And now you're so unimportant. Let me just see if I can quick do that now. And then when we're in the meeting, I can say I talked to everybody.
Completely.
Right? So you've got to schedule this. You've got to be thoughtful in this, and you've got to take advantage of the power of this pre-meeting and truly take the engagement of the team. If you're not going to do these three things, if you're not at a minimum going to actually, engage them in the early stages, if you're not actually going to listen and allow them to participate, and you're not going to do it in an amount of time that it matters, then this is really all just, it's just theater, and it's going to work against you.
Absolutely. That is so key. And they might not say it. They might act like it's all good, but that really, they may show up with a really kind of negative tone.
Sure.
And it could really hijack the entire meeting of all the people, because you have one person that is a little toxic, that breeds.
And you created that toxicity 5 minutes before the meeting.
Right. You
that's
put
a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Absolutely. And so all the work you've done could just be undermined by just a poor planning.
Yeah.
I think it's super important.
This is so good because I think that we use this as a headline so often to have the meeting before the meeting. And everybody kind of just says, yeah, I know what that means. So you want to just have the conversations before, but there is so much intention, strategy, and all those things that you really brought in those 3 best practices. So tell us them one more time so we don't forget.
Absolutely. So I think it's super important that you engage them and allow your team to participate. That participation is key to that pre-meeting. They need to be part of the conversation and actually affect the outcome. 2, they need to know that everyone else is being engaged and allowed to do so. This will allow them to understand it's a safe space and a safe opportunity for them to disagree or agree with the outcome. And then 3, it's so important that you do the pre-meeting in a time proximity to the meeting that's appropriate. You've got to give them the opportunity to think about it. Maybe you even have thinkers who can't give you feedback quickly and they want to digest it overnight. You've got to make sure that pre-meeting is done with timing appropriate for the actual meeting.
Oh, this is so good. It's so important. I love these. These are great ones that everyone should note and put them into automatic practice every single time.
Absolutely. And it's good muscle memory, right? You're going to learn that, hey, I've got this meeting coming up. I got to get going on that. Not, holy crap, it's at 3:00. I got to do the pre-meeting. It's got to be muscle memory here.
Well, and you learn those tendencies, as you mentioned, of the different individuals, those stakeholders.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if they're in one meeting, they're going to be another one that's really critical.
Exactly right. Good topic.
Awesome. Yeah, this was a good topic. I think we really gave some useful tips. So thank you for that.
But just one second. What's that? Okay, my wife she's from New Jersey. She's informed me it is the shore. I take that back. I apologize to all of my New Jersey friends. I was wrong.
The beach. It's the beach.
I will hang up the call today and I will have to go into the kitchen and be here full time with my wife. And so I'm going to have to go with shore.
Well, at least we know you manage your relationships well.
That's right.
Well
played.
Happy
life.
Absolutely.
That's how you do it.
Wow. I can't believe you just pulled that out. All right. So it is the beach. So don't forget. But as we talked about, it's all about the meeting before the meeting.
That's right.
And making
sure. All about the meeting.
Yes, it's about that. So thanks for joining us. This has been Quick
Super
Take.
Fun.
It's been really fun. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast.
That's right.
That helps people find us and it ensures that you see the next episode when it falls on, I think it's Thursdays is when it comes in, but you should know that. So thanks for joining us. Reach out to us if you have questions you want us to talk about or a topic that you're facing. We'd love to hear from people and really weave that in. So thanks for joining us. Thank you, James. This was fantastic.
Always good. Take care, Susie.